Friends, welcome back as always to Continues to Tick. Here we are, and the plan is to be here bi-weekly. I know if you've been following this journey for a while, there have been some changes. I used to upload every single week, but just know I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I just made some adjustments. I do want overall this channel to be everything dividend related, financial related, maybe also incorporate things on career advancement, salary. The idea is that's what Continues to Tick will always be about. So if you're curious, if you were by chance interested in anything else that I do on my personal life, maybe my path of self-improvement and all that, I've moved that all to a separate channel. So that's why my channel looks different if you've been following me for a while. And that channel is called Continues to Improve. So you can always follow that, if that's something you're interested in. But otherwise, friends, this channel, it's all about dividends. It's all about money. It's all about reaching that financial independence. It's about my journey. It's about your journey. It's about relating in this process. Because the journey is long, friends. It is very long. What you'll see is that I'll be uploading, at least for now, bi-weekly. I'll continue to have my monthly dividend portfolio review, my big review, where in that one I'll show you how much my portfolio pays me in dividends. That'll be the big one. And in between, you're going to start to see videos like this. It's going to be a little bit more raw, a little bit more conversational, just trying to connect. In these videos, I'll just pose some questions. They're all going to be financial related, money related in some way, shape, or form. Maybe even slightly into the deep, areas of our minds. But it'll continue to be money focused and focused on this idea of financial independence. Because ultimately that is the journey that I'm on. And I know a lot of you guys watching, on this channel or having been watching for a while, that is what you're interested in. So I do want to respect that. So apart from posing some questions at the very end in these, raw style videos, and I'm hesitant to say podcast, but they will be kind of podcasty because they will be a little bit more raw. But at the end of these videos, after posing questions and, discussing them, I will end with the portfolio review. And this will be, kind of like a bi-monthly, or I guess bi-weekly review of my portfolio. Just an in-between review. This review will be a little bit more flexible. I'll start to show you guys some of the activity, just to kind of be more transparent. I do continue to invest $100 every single week. And that's like the main point as to why I'm a bit hesitant to do, weekly uploads at this time. If you've been following me for a while, I used to invest $500 every single week. Right now I invest $400 every month. So there's a big difference. When, I was investing at that pace, things were just a lot more interesting on the week-to-week basis. So that's a big reason as to why I'm going to pretty much do, bi-weekly videos. But as always, friends, just as a reminder, I know some of you guys are new, some of you guys have been here for a while. Just to be a little bit more transparent, I'm 27 years old. I'm going to be 28 this year. I started this dividend portfolio back in 2020. The crazy year of 2020, right after the market dipped in July and it was starting to rebound. I just wanted to start a journey. I was already a couple years into the workforce. And I was about, maybe even 1 year into the workforce, 2 years or so. And, I wanted to start something apart from my retirement plan. I'm a state worker, so I'm ultimately working on the back end for a pension. But I don't want to rely on that. I also want to have my own, financial portfolios. One goal that I, started at that time was to create this dividend portfolio with the idea of having it be significant one day in the future. But I do realize these things just take time. And if you're a dividend investor, I know you realize the same thing. So, that ultimately will pose the question, will we be able to see it through? But apart from a dividend portfolio, friends, I also one day want to create, my own real estate portfolio, start to gather rental properties. When I grew up, one of the big sources of income for my parents who were immigrants from Mexico, they had, rental properties. My parents never made a lot of money, but they did save it and invest it well. And that is ultimately, in combination with their actual very low salary, allowed us to live in neighborhoods. Honestly, we had no, reason to be living in. They weren't very high-end neighborhoods, but it was solid middle class. And, that did open my eyes to that route. But early on in my career, I'm busy trying to focus on career advancement, working as a nurse, trying to solidify, just my base, trying to get experience, trying to make a name for myself. So it's kind of hard at that time, to also start thinking about being a landlord. I wasn't stable in that sense, just in who I was in my career. Now, a couple years in, I'm a lot more stable. I started my master's program, and I'm trying to advance in this career ladder now as a nurse, trying to increase my salary. So now I'm starting to open up that door again, to my upbringing of being interested in rental properties as, one of my sources of income in the future. But, just to backtrack a bit, back in 2020, I had no interest in being landlord. I'm like, I don't have the time. I don't have the mental energy. I can't do it. It'd probably break me. And honestly, I didn't have the cash for it to even enter. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I started a dividend portfolio. Oh, and of course, growing up seeing, the hassle of being a landlord with rental properties and being so involved, I was always very hands-on with my father and helping him and seeing, just all the annoyances of, what it takes to be a good landlord. Some tenants are just really, really bad people, just in general. And that's how the world is. You'll see some good people out there. You'll see a lot of bad things. And I currently work in a prison, so I can understand to almost a full extent of how bad some of these people can be. But regardless, friends, if you're here, just understand this video is going to be a little bit raw. I'll try to give reminders of who I am, and the overall, point of this video is just to kill time. We're going to be in this journey for a long, long time, and I just don't want people to feel alone. I know it's not often that you meet another dividend investor, when you're out and about, but if you are one, I just want you guys to know I'm here with you. This journey is going to be long, and we're going to make it to see that end point, that we all have envisioned for ourselves, that big nest egg. It'll come. It's just going to take time. But friends, for this first question that I've been hinting to, will you be able to see it through, waiting for a substantial dividend portfolio? It's hard, right? It's hard. We all know it's going to take a long time. I think we all can say we started at zero. Right now I'm at 65,000, I think you'll see. And I did go fairly quickly, aggressively, I guess you can even say, in my funding schedule. So that's why in about, less than 3 years, I'm at 65,000. But a big key is, how much do you make? Like, what is your income? The more money you make, the more money you can funnel into this dividend portfolio, and the quicker you'll see that progress. At the moment, if you've seen my last monthly dividend portfolio review, my dividend portfolio now pays me $2,000 a year in dividends. But you're not alone, friends, to feel like, is this worth it? How much is it going to take, mentally, time-wise, like return-wise? Is it all worth it to see that end point that we know as dividend investors, it's decades away. It's not anytime soon. And that's why, as a dividend investor, if you can find the way to leverage time, the easier it'll be. The less you have to funnel, and the more you can utilize this time and the systematic investing to really create this snowball for yourself. As you have less time, you have to be a little bit more aggressive. But now, I guess one of the hacks is, if you have a high income and you have time, now you can really leverage, both these things to that outcome that you want. It just takes time, friends, and I know you're not alone, though. I'm here with you. And as far as elevating in the career ladder for that higher salary, what are your thoughts on that? I know for me, right now, I'm now in the process of really trying to get this one job that I'm hyper-focused on, truly trying to obtain. It would be a nursing consultant position for the state of California. And, I'm about 3 years working for the state now. And I would say, I've worked really hard to try to make a name for myself. I'm seeing the value now in these higher positions. I'm going back to school. I'm really trying to invest in my career development. And ultimately, sometimes I feel disconnected because I just don't know whether I want to continue down this path of investing in my career for that higher salary, or I want to start investing more into myself, maybe investing more into real estate, trying to go the route of just making money. But what I realized is that, my cap for my dividend portfolio, my cap for my financial independence will always be, the limitations on my source of income. So if at this time I don't have any rental properties, at this time my dividend portfolio isn't providing me, that return that I need to really fast track this process, I really have to focus on the one area that I can improve to try to increase that salary and to try to increase that income. And that is through my career. So I've been putting a lot more energy into career advancement, trying to go up this career ladder, trying to become a supervisor, going back to school, because the end goal would be trying to get one of these nursing consultant positions. And for you friends, if you look at your career ladder, maybe there's a position out there on your current trajectory that if you do obtain it, it will lead to a higher salary, a higher income. But maybe there are a couple, barriers in between, whether it's putting in more time, whether it's going back to school, whether it's trying to network and make connections to know certain people that could, put you in a better work position. These are all things that over time I found value in, because it's either continue down this path or start my own business. And I would like to do that one day, but I do feel, at least for me, starting that business would probably be a landlord, and, creating this rental portfolio. But at least for the meantime, I need to increase my salary in order to do that, because I'm currently saving up, cash for real estate. It's just, a slower process, right? It's slower. I can take out my dividend portfolio and go invest in real estate right now, but I want to keep both, so that's what I decided on. I decided to really focus on career advancement, trying to increase my income, to increase my salary, to increase my monthly ability to invest or save up cash. And through that, I'll be able to fast track this process to financial independence. Overall, I've said it before and I'll say it again. My goal is to retire as early as I can, but as realistic as I can be. So 50 to 52 has always been my mark, because when you work for the state, that's around the earliest retirement age. So my idea would be to have a pension, have my dividend portfolio, have my real estate, and through that time as well, have a higher income and a higher salary because I advanced in my career. I mean, that's more than a trifecta. That's 4 things. So that's the plan, ultimately, for me. And before we end the video, friends, here we are. Let's touch base on my portfolio. So as you can see, we're at $65,559.72. This is on the all-time charts. And I do have an all-time return of 17.63%, which equates currently to a total gain of $6,015.43. A very neat statistic here, if you look, my earned dividends all time is actually higher than my market gain all time. And that's what this is all about. Just as an example, market gain is $2,855, but my all-time earned dividends is $3,159. So as a dividend investor, this is one of the things that we look for, right? Regardless of how the markets are doing, we're gonna earn dividends. And if we can earn more dividends than the return of the market, whether it's on a month-to-month basis, over time, at any given point in the portfolio, that's what this is about. This is how you can tell if your portfolio has been successful over time. Just looking at statistics like this. That's awesome. And if we look at the last week's performance, it was a return of 1.35%, or $875. And if we look at the last month, which I'm curious about, for the month, it was relatively flat, 0.07%. So practically just flatlined. The loss is $43, which for a portfolio is literally a flat line. Like, that's not anything significant or to worry about. But let me show you some activity, friends, because I know I don't show you this often, and I keep forgetting to show you this on my big monthly dividend portfolio reviews. But at the same time, I feel like I can't show you because it would just take way too long, and those videos are already a little bit long. And this one's going to be long regardless, so why not show you anyway? So as you can see here, just on this page, starting on March 17th, we had a buy, but here we had a dividend payout from SPYD of $61. This is my high dividend ETF, so I always get really big payouts from this holding. And then as you can see, we have Lockheed Martin Core, Waste Management, Nvidia. Nvidia is a tech company with a very low payout, but the idea is high growth, and it gives out 50 cents, whatever, 50 cents. And then VIG is another one of my ETFs. It's $30 of a payout here. What is this? And then Digital Realty Trust, $18 return. And as you can see here, friends, just to mention, here are my weekly deposits every Friday, $100, $100. I have these set on automatic. You'll see one here. Maybe it just hasn't loaded yet for the 7th. But as you can see here, friends, the dividends continue to drip in, and I continue to, drip them. I also just refunnel everything that is paid to me. Here I have 4 buys, 2 buys. Everything is just dripping through, and these payouts continue to come in. I got CTBI for $14, UGI for $7.65, MDU for $5.98. That's what this is about, friends. If I change the page here, you'll continue to see all these greens, and these are all dividends getting paid to me. And then you'll see me funnel it again, and then you'll see my $100 invested, funneled into the portfolio for financial funding. And everything just continues like that over time. One thing that I do like saying is that my very first dividend payout was 8 pennies. 8 pennies. And now here I am getting freaking $5, $6, $7. Here I am getting $61, $18, $14. Like, that's just over time, friends. So continue to see it through. Just understand you're not alone. This is a long process. It's a long journey, and I'm going to continue to be here to the very end. Like I said, I'm 27, will be 28. My plan is to retire at 50, 52, and that's just me being realistic, but I want to retire comfortably. I don't want to just retire and not have money. Like, I want to have the car that I want. I want to have the house that I want. I want to have the lifestyle that I want. Just like that car you hear in the background. Maybe it's a Porsche Panamera. I just want to have my ducks in a row. I want to have everything that I envisioned in alignment. My career, where I want it to be, where I'm working a job that's actually easier, making more money than, when I first started in my career. Like, that is where I want to be, in my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. And ultimately, I look ahead and I see people struggling. I see people that never thought about money until the very last second, right when they want to retire. And I see a lot of people never having focused on career advancement. And, you just cap yourself. They never invested in real estate. They never created a dividend portfolio. They never started a side business. And you just cap yourself. And then over time, friends, time will always tell you what you did wrong. So if you don't think of these things, you're going to get to your upper 50s, 60s, and you're just going to be behind. You're going to be behind, and you're going to regret it. You're going to wish that you would have done this earlier. So the sooner you start, friends, the harder it is, because the longer it feels like it's going to take. But if you do this early on, your older self is going to thank you. And I'll be here, friends, and I hope you'll be here too. See you guys in about 2 weeks with that big monthly portfolio review. But until then, as always, take care And remember, this life is continuous until it's not. And remember, time passes regardless.